Welcome to the channel, guys. My name is Jess. So Bitcoin has rallied pretty aggressively in the last 24 hours and is currently retesting a massive level of resistance. So let's dive into the charts today to talk about what this recent rally means on both the short time frame and high time frame charts, and what exactly we need for a bullish continuation here or the potential for a rejection. Before we get into all that though, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to get regular Bitcoin analysis every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. If you're after even more content, be sure to check out my free Telegram, and if you're after my VIP channel, you can get more details over here. VIP gives you exclusive access to my personal trading setups with exact entry points, targets, and stop losses. And I am having a sale right now on membership, so message me on Telegram to get 15 to 30% off. Alrighty guys, so diving around to the charts, we're on an hourly time frame here. As you guys can see, Bitcoin has rallied really aggressively over the last 24 hours. So we started off at a low down here at 58,900. And if you guys remember my last video, or you were there for my last video, you would know that we spoke about this relevant trading range, right? Or this horizontal channel that Bitcoin was consolidating within on these shorter time frame charts. So that ranged all the way up to $64,000 and had a base of support ranging from 60K to 59,000. We can see that level of support better on the 4-hour time frame as well, where we have repetitive retests of that 59K level as a base of resistance before establishing it as a support level later on. So even though we had a really huge crash down here that took us all the way down to that 58.9K level, the 4-hour close and hourly close were above that level of support. And after establishing support here and bouncing, that is when we rallied all the way up to 63,000. As you guys can imagine, shorts got absolutely wrecked on the way upwards. We've seen a 35% increase in 24-hour liquidations, and most of those skewed onto the short side, so nearly $100 million in shorts liquidated in the last day alone. So market sentiment is starting to shift upwards on the short time frame. We can see open interest is up nearly 5%, and if we take a look at Fear and Greed Index, it is up at 43 from a low of 37 earlier on this week. So the recent rally has definitely had an emotional impact on the market, but let's dive into the charts and talk about what the rally actually means and the significance of this bounce, starting off on the daily time frame. Before we get into the rest of the video, guys, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor, BitUnex. We can get 15% off all of your trading fees and up to $5,500 in sign-up rewards when you create your free account using the link down in my description box. BitUnex is an emerging cryptocurrency exchange committed to providing you with a secure, convenient, and highly functional trading and investment platform. Available across all countries as a non-KYC exchange, get global access to over 150 trading pairs with minimal fees on both spot and futures contracts. Join today to get $5,500 in sign-up rewards and get 15% off all of your trading fees by signing up using the link in my bio or by using the code 1GG3 when you create your account. Okay guys, so starting off with the daily chart, what we can see here is that the two most recent daily candle closes have actually been very bullish. So the first one I'm talking about is over here on Thursday, right? This red doji candle close over here. So what we saw is a short time frame correction, right? We rejected off that sort of relevant trading range that we had on the short time frame at $64,000. And then the daily candle, upon retesting the blue dotted trend line, this midline of our high time frame descending channel for structure, actually closed above the structure. So that tells us here that despite the massive amount of bearish pressure that we had here, pushing the price below the midline, this buyers, or the support that we have at this dynamic level of support, was able to successfully defend the candle close, and we ended up closing quite a bullish doji candle over here, just above that really critical level of support. And then following that, our most recent daily candle close, the one we've just had this morning on, I think that's the Friday candle close, yep. That one actually surpassed the red candle that we had on the day prior to the doji candle. So that tells us that upon this sort of clash moment here, right, this is like that doji candle represents, you know, like a really big push in both directions, right, where we're able to sustain support. And then after that push, the buyers were able to take control, and the strength of the buyers surpassed the bearish strength that we saw on that daily red candle prior to that pushed us into that base of support. So that is a really good sign, and it tells us that moving forward in terms of the daily charts, in terms of a high time frame trajectory, Bitcoin in successfully defending this midline level of support, has a higher chance now of maintaining a bullish continuation. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, I just really quickly want to touch on it. The midline is a super important level. It is the blue dotted trend line, as I've already said, and generally falling below that, rejecting off it as well, has resulted in quite aggressive bearish corrections in the past that have led Bitcoin to go on to retest the base of this larger descending channel structure that we have here. And the importance of, I guess, maintaining that midline support in this particular segment of price action in the latter end of this descending channel structure was because if we fell below the midline and went on to retest the range low once again, that would mean that for the first time within our structure that we have gone on to retest and fall below the Ichimoku cloud on the weekly chart, which has macro bearish implications, right? So the prior ones, yeah, sure, they were awful. Pretty big liquidation event over here as well in July. No, was it July? Yes, in July. But this particular retest would have had, quite significant high time frame bearish implications as opposed to the others where we were just simply retesting a pattern structure, right? So slightly different implications for this one, but it's very good that we were actually able to defend that level of support. So that tells us on a daily time frame here, we can expect a bullish continuation to some degree. Whether or not we see a short time frame correction first before we get our bullish continuation here, that is another question that we need to dive into the short time frame to talk about. So moving over onto the shorter time frame charts then. Now, while the high time frame and the daily time frame looks great, right? Objectively, it looks like we have a much higher probability of a bullish continuation. It still does not negate the fact that on the shorter time frame charts, on an hourly time frame here, we are at resistance. And while we approach resistance on a short time frame with decreasing levels of strength, which I'll illustrate in a moment, we have a high probability of seeing a short time frame correction as opposed to a bullish continuation after this recent rally. So let me elaborate on what I'm talking about. In my last video, I talked about this relevant trading range, right? We're still very much within the range. Range high, 64.5, range low down here at $58.9 thousand. So immediately those are our two key levels for either bullish and bearish continuation. If we exit the range, we close above buy side liquidity over here, that tells us that on the short time frame, not only have we horizontally we triggered a horizontal bullish level, but also if we zoom out just a little bit and take a look at the recent price action, ever since that high at $66,000, Bitcoin has created these lower highs over here in the last month. So across October, we have seen a downtrend in the price action. So in order for Bitcoin to get that bullish continuation, we need to break out of that downtrend. And to do that, both a structural level, so structurally breaking out the downtrend, but also horizontally, we need to clear above that prior high in the downtrend. We need to break the pattern of forming lower highs, and in breaking above this level over here, form a higher high in the chart. So we can then target 66,000 and continue on in that flipped upwards trajectory, right? So until we get that bullish continuation to this level and see this cleared, we cannot, say that Bitcoin is going to see a short time frame bullish continuation. We are currently at resistance, right? That lower level of resistance just below the range high over here is at around $63,000. That is the current level that Bitcoin is rejecting off. We can see previously it was a level of support over here, and then losing it as a base of support, it has gone on to act as a level of resistance. It is a change of character level where in closing above it, we can see and expect a short time frame, a very short time frame bullish continuation to retest that range high resistance over here, and that is when looking to break we can expect that move to 66,000. So that is the scenario for bullish continuation. It has not been satisfied yet. We're still very much traveling within that downtrend right now. So on the short time frame, until we break that, it is more likely that we see another small segment of downwards price action, a retracement, before seeing that higher time frame bullish continuation that the daily chart suggests. So in terms of a short time frame correction, our current key level of support is this one over here, right? The range low level of support down here from $60,000 to $59,000, and this being the sell side liquidity, wherein we can expect that we have broken out of our relevant trading range, this horizontal channel, and move on to continue that bearish trajectory onto higher time frame bases of support at $57,000. We can see it's a level of significance from the prior uptrend, right? We're breaking that uptrend. We saw the start of this correction, and in retracing those key levels, we move on to retest that prior retest in that same uptrend. So that is the next key level of support that we would look to establish in closing below sell side liquidity over here. On the more immediate short time frame though, the first retracement level that we have is this next base of support at 62,000, right? And then below that, falling below the 50 SMA and the 200 SMA, we go on to retest that lower base there at 60,000. Moving back over onto the 4-hour chart really quickly, one last thing that I did want to point out to you guys is the corresponding downtrend that we have here on the 4-hour RSI. So as you guys can see, we have been approaching these levels of resistance over here with decreasing strength, hence the downtrend. And in breaking out of this downtrend and breaking above 64.5, the first leading indication that we might have here is on the 4-hour time frame, where if we see the RSI push above the corresponding downtrend, it tells us we're seeing enough of a shift in bullish momentum that increases the probability of us breaking out of our downtrend here on the price action and moving on to retest these upper levels of significance over here. Conversely, if we break below this 4-hour uptrend over here on the RSI, it only has 2 points of confluence, so it's not, I would say, a really strong uptrend. But if we do break below that, that is one of the, I guess, warning signs then that in a next correction, we're more likely to fall below this sell side liquidity over here and see that correction down to $57,000. So, in summary, really quickly, the daily chart, high time frame, we're looking really good. The probabilities of a bullish continuation here are pretty high. From those two retests, we've managed to successfully defend a key level of support that facilitates this bullish continuation. However, on the short time frame, we're still in a channel of consolidation, and in order to see an immediate bullish rally following this one that we've just had in the last 24 hours, we need to see Bitcoin break out of our downtrend and the corresponding prior high in that downtrend at 64,500. Alrighty guys, that is all the analysis that I have for you today. If you enjoyed the video or you learned something, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're after even more content, be sure to check out my free Telegram for daily updates as well as crypto and economic news. And if you're interested in my VIP channel, you can get more details over here. VIP gives you exclusive access to my personal trading setups with exact entry points, targets, and stop losses. And if you are a trader, don't forget to sign up down below to BitUnex to get 15% off all of your trading fees. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!